I think as many of you know, I came here to Berkeley with a company in Mexico called Acari. And over the last 6 months or so, I've been working a lot with Sam over here on our new brand, El Diablito Jerky. A lot of you have tried it, some of you haven't. So we're here to talk about our work this semester. When I first started with the capstone, I had this grand idea of creating a marketing strategy, a market entry strategy for this new product, El Diablito, in the US, using a lot of case studies with other companies and foods, especially from other parts of the world, and how they broke into this market. That's a lot of the fun part that I like. Unfortunately, things didn't really turn out that way, and we're going to talk more about what I actually did this semester. So a little bit of context. Again, sorry, this is a repeat for some of you. Basically, there's this fish, it's called the pez diablo, or the devilfish, that is invasive to Mexico. It's decimated the freshwater fishing industry in Mexico. It's all over the place. It accounts for 70% of the wild fish capture. There's no market for it. And there's tens of thousands of fishermen throughout the country that are basically out of work or can no longer have stable employment. And so what we do is we really create this market for devilfish products in Mexico and now in the US. The concept of our work is really straightforward. We just work with rural fishermen to process and market this fish. And that's what we're doing. And now we're further processing or refining this fillet into El Diablito jerky. I think a lot of you have seen, like Sam and I, you've seen a lot of like the cool stuff we've got to do. And a lot of people like to highlight that, especially with like social entrepreneurship. You know, we had the opportunity to go to Italy, we come up with like new packaging. Our company has grown up a lot in the last 6-8 months. It's a lot of cool stuff, you know, it's like the Facebook highlight reel. But unfortunately, it's not always like that. It's not always like the really cool stuff that you want to focus on. And this semester really turned, when Sam and I sat down, we started thinking about how to break into these markets. We really had to take a step back and think more about how to get this product into the market in the first place, as opposed to like getting it to consumers. And so this map has become my life. I'll go over it really quick. Basically, we're down here in Villahermosa, Mexico. And so we bring up filet to Mexico City, we aggregate it in cold storage, and we bring it to the US where we split it up and send it different ways. The red arrow going to Chicago, that's actually where we're making the jerky now. So then it's another distribution game where we have to figure out how to take it from there to distribute it out. So really for the last 6 months, my life has only been regulatory compliance and shipping, and then failing a lot, but failing like small, that's what we try to do. So again, everyone sees like the cool side, but this is really what's going on behind the scenes. So first step was the regulatory hurdles. The first step for us was getting an FDA registered facility to fillet, and then so we could export properly. And here we got lucky. One of our advisors that I randomly reached out to is actually an FDA approved agent, basically. So he helped us, guide us through the process. I wasn't there all the time. I try to go to Mexico whenever I can, but I wasn't there all the time. And so we designed the plan, the blueprint on a tablet one afternoon. We read a lot online, did a lot through WhatsApp, and I think the big thing was really having the community own this project. It was really theirs. I've worked with a lot of different communities in the region. And here we just have a really strong relationship. We've known each other for a long time. And they knew that, you know, I wasn't from the government, I wasn't from like the UN, I'm not made of money. We had to go small, like piece by piece, really piecemeal and grow this company, or grow the plant at first. They helped source a lot of materials, they helped a lot with the manual labor. And then Victor over here was really the star, so 20 years old, from a small rural village, never been out of the state. Last summer, I took him to Cancun to visit, a work play trip. And we visited some of the best facilities in Mexico. And so it was amazing for him to be able to say like, hey, wow, I'm in Cancun. But I also said, look, this is what we want. You know, we're in rural Mexico, there's no running water, electricity is scarce, stuff like that. And so this 20-year-old kid came back empowered and worked with these fishermen, and really through WhatsApp, and we came up with this brilliant facility. The other side is the co-packer relationship, so that's our factory where we're making the jerky. As much as we wanted to completely vertically integrate, we hit some walls, and we decided that it's just easier to farm that out and partner with someone in the US that already has the permits that we need. So Sam will talk a little bit about that more. And then shipping, good God, that's all my life is now. So yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is no one really knows what like how to connect all the dots. People know different parts, and so it's just talking to everyone. People will tell you different answers, and it's just really a lot of searching, a lot of failing. We lost a lot of fish with failed shipments, and so basically that's what I've been doing, is creating that cold chain from rural southern Mexico all the way to your plate here in San Francisco, which is a lot more difficult and complicated than it sounds. So really briefly, I'll tell you guys what we're doing. Like I said, we bring it up to Mexico City. We partner with shipping companies, trucks, as opposed to air or boats. That's to get the costs down as low as possible. We bring it across the border. Then we're doing what's called LTL, less than truckload shipping. This was a new term I had to learn. So we bring over, say, 5 tons. We split it up into 5 different shipments, and we send it to its respective locations. So this way, doing all this, so DHL will charge like $5 a pound, for example, plus all the shipping materials. So we're talking about $8 a pound for shipping. But now we're able to get to around $1, $1.20 from rural Mexico to San Francisco per pound. And that's just by really just hustling and knocking a lot of doors and figuring out how to get these costs as low as possible to make our company viable in the first place. And the final hurdle, which is another adventure, is customs and customs brokers, which that's like the next chapter, and that's what I'm working on now. So that pretty much wraps it up. Again, you know, doing the social enterprise and stuff, it's not all the sexy stuff all the time. There's a lot of stuff going on under the hood that is very important to the success of this company. Before we can go do cool things and, like, you know, present and whatever, we have to spend a lot of time doing the finer things. And so without further ado, I'll wrap up, open for questions, and thank you for your time.
We have about 4 minutes for Q&A.
Olivia?
How do you sustainably fund the process of failing? Like, do you have capital that's just like, you know, there for that purpose, or you just kind of burning through money, or?
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep our burn rate as low as possible. We're buoyed a little bit by the weak Mexican peso, but really, if it weren't for student loans, like, none of this failing would be possible. Yeah.
Going through all this, how do you keep the social enterprise?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, like, a lot of times we've wanted to just, like, walk away, because it's like you go up against all these hurdles and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, going back and talking to these fishermen and stuff, and then seeing how they own this facility, and it's like become a source of pride in the community. I think that's what keeps it going, because we really do it, you know, for, like, we're doing this to build an economy around this fish and help the fishermen. And so yeah, that's our focus, and to open new markets and stuff, and drive the shipping costs as low as possible, so that the majority of, like, the cost of the fish is going to these guys.
Can you talk a little about the origin story of how you became, like, very well connected with the people in this community? Because it seems like the relationship that you have with the individuals that are working with you is like the foundation of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a Fulbright in 2014, working with rural fishing communities through the local university, and then I ended up working for UNDP for another year there. So I ended up spending about 3 years working with these communities, all fishing communities. And so I give a lot of presentations, talk to them, just hang out, you know, in the community. And again, the dynamics in Tabasco are a little different, with a lot of paternalism from the government and everything, and so it's difficult sometimes to work with these fishing communities, but for whatever reason, really found a really good group of responsible, really dedicated, driven fishermen that also, most importantly, had patience with me. A lot of people expect, like, oh, okay, cool, you're just gonna set up this facility, but with them it's like, yeah, you know, we started in some guy's backyard, then we went to some guy's unused house, and we just threw some paint on, and now we have, like, a real facility.